Okay, it is currently day 8 of the series, and it's the 14th of January. And I took a lot of trades today. I'm gonna be completely transparent with you guys. I took like 22 trades, which is way more than I should have. I overtraded a lot today, and I took a lot of losses. I think I took like 10 losses and 12 wins, but I ended up being green on the day. And I don't want to talk too much about every single trade that I took, and I'm just gonna focus on the good trades that I did take. I understand that some of the bad trades I should not have taken and this and that, but I don't want to make this videos like super long. So we're gonna go and talk about my trade recaps for today. So on the daily, if we take a look, my bias was short, okay, because we have these equal lows. Let's take a look on ES. ES is already at all-time highs. NQ is failing to sweep this internal high right here at 26,120, and we're dumping back down, right? So I'm looking at these four lows right here as my draw on liquidity. And if we drop down to the 4 hour, we can also see that is trend line liquidity or low resistance liquidity. And we're already pretty much open below this 4 hour, so we're already like pretty much inversing it. So I'm looking to take a short. If we go to look at 8:30, we see 8:30 news right here spike up and then drop lower. I did take a trade at 8:30 on the news. I waited, obviously. I waited for this setup to form. I was looking to take a short right here on this fair value gap and targeting like these lows, but the RR was kind of shit, so I didn't take it there. I ended up taking a trade somewhere in here. Let me see if I can find it on Tradebait. Yeah, you can look at this. Look how many trades I took today. A lot of fucking trades. Okay. So okay, you can see here I tried to take a short stab before news, and it was looking like it was playing out really well, and then it didn't. So yeah, and then I waited for news. News came down. I tried to take this fair value gap, and I immediately got out. It was not a very good entry, and it just wasn't in like if I was taking it, the breaker would be here, right? This is not an optimal entry. This is way too far down. So I'm waiting. Take another stab here. Take a loss, and then I take a short right here again. I'm pretty sure this might be like a 5-second trade. Or a 30-second trade. I think it's a 5-second trade, if I remember correctly. No, it's a 15-second trade. Yeah, it's definitely a 15-second trade. I shorted in this. I'm in this giant leg down. I'm shorting inside this gap, and I'm pretty much just sitting in this bear flag until it drops, and I got out right here. I ended up being break even for the day on this trade because I took that one loss during Asia, and then I took this loss here, and then these were like minimal losses, so I got break even here. Then I'm waiting for open. I'm playing Arc Raiders, obviously. And then at open we get this giant move down. Okay, we sweep out this sell side liquidity, which was my low hanging fruit target, literally at open as usual. And from there, I'm still looking for shorts. Like, low-hanging fruit is already taken, but I'm still looking for shorts. Once we come back up, in my opinion, this is a market maker buy model, right? This is a market maker sell model, and then we have a very low or very quick market maker buy model, right? All this chop, we manipulate up here, break down, do some more chop, retrace, do some chop right here, and then dump down for low-hanging fruit. And then we inverse after we take sell side liquidity up for this buy side. Once we fail to sweep this high, as you can see, look on ES, we're failing to sweep the high again, and we have an SMT at the top. I'm looking for shorts, right? So I'm seeing how this reacts. We get an inversion right here, but I wasn't confident enough yet in this inversion because it hadn't fully closed over the fair value gap yet. So I'm dropping down onto the 15-second time frame, and I'm looking for an entry somewhere in here. Okay, on the 15-second time frame, there isn't really much to work with, and this is when I drop down to the 5-second. I only recently started doing this because of volatility at 9:30. I'm trying to catch the 9:30 volatility. So I'm looking for a trade on the 5 second. When we sweep this high right here, so we come down, we chop, come back up and sweep this high, I'm looking for a sell model, right? We get an inversion right here, and I also wait for this candle to close below this red candle, pretty much like the order block, right? That would have held this up. It closed over the order block. I think you can call that like CISD. So I wait for that to close over, and then I enter on this 5 second short. It starts playing out beautifully, and I move my stop loss to break even because after the internal swing low or the most recent swing low or swing high gets taken, I go to break even. And I probably shouldn't have done that because this is such a low time frame. We can obviously chop back up. There could be like 15 second, 30 second, 1 minute gaps in this somewhere. So I probably should have waited, but then I end up getting stopped out and we dump straight down to my TP. My TP was right here. I think this was like 40 points or something like that. I entered at 711 and would have gotten out at like 670. Yeah, 40 points. And then at that rate, we dump pretty low down, and I think we already take some liquidity. So I'm waiting for another short opportunity, and I'm looking at this short right here. I think this is on the 15 second. Yeah, I'm looking for this unicorn short here. I take it and we go straight to my stop loss, and then this is when I kind of start taking a little bit too many trades. This one worked out, but I didn't take it out at liquidity and got stopped out. This one is just my bad. This is already 2R. Okay, I would have been done on this trade. I entered here, it comes down, sweeps this low, and that was my target, but I was greedy. I put my target at 605 because I really wanted an even number, so I got stopped out. So we're gonna go focus on the trades that made my money back. Okay, the trades that made my money back was here. I was down like $1,200, and I ended up making it all back on this move down. Okay, let's take a look at the 1 minute. I've been looking for this 470 low for quite some time, right? Once we left this 470 low and we were pushing back up, there was like a 5 minute, a 15 minute, and then another 15 minute gap. I think I tried to short multiple times in it, and then eventually I tried to long, I'm pretty sure, and it just didn't work out. So I waited, and I kind of like felt like I was gonna get off here because I was like, I'm already down $1,200. I don't want to blow the whole account, and I am not for sure if we're gonna go to this 455 level, which is a 4-hour low and also a 4-hour fair value gap. But I'm waiting, and we get this move right here, right? We tap into consequent encroachment of this 15-minute fair value gap, and we also make an SMT at the top. Notice how ES over here, ES has taken out this buy side liquidity while NQ hasn't. This makes an SMT, right? Now I'm dropping down to the 15-second time frame. I take a stab here where we sweep this high. We're in consequent encroachment of the 15-minute. We inverse this. We inverse this 15-second fair value gap. I enter, I think pretty much like right here at 80. I enter at 80, and I'm holding it all the way for this internal low. This is also a 5-minute gap. Take a look on TradingView. 5-minute gap, you can see that right there. I marked it out with a sell side liquidity line right there. So I get out right there. I make back some of my money. I think I make like 35 points on that. So I'm only down like $550. Now, after I get out here, I go back to the 1 minute time frame, and notice how this makes an extremely clean 1 minute unicorn. Okay, we have a low. Let's take a look at this. We make a high, then we make a low, we make another high, and then we make, hold on, we can count this as another low, and then a high, and then another low. Notice how it breaks through this low. This makes a breaker block. So this can count as a breaker block. Now, what happens when there's a fair value gap lined up with a breaker block? It's a unicorn, right? This is the unicorn model. So there's a 1 minute fair value gap right here. I was debating on taking this 1 minute and then like having my stop loss like pretty tight, like around like the top of the breaker, but I was like, that could be too tight of a stop loss, right? Because for all I know, it could come back up, tap the 15 minute again and the 5 minute and then drop. So I'm waiting for confirmation, right? I'm dropping down to the 15-second time chart again. Once we make this low right here and we make another high, I'm looking for this fair value gap to be left open and then we run through it. Once we run through this fair value gap, I'm immediately in. I'm in at 540. I have a feeling if I put my limit in right here, it's never gonna retrace to there, right? So I'm putting my limit in at 540. This candle closes, I get in at 540, and I'm holding my stop loss at this most recent high. Okay, if we were to break this high right here, then I would just wait. I would wait for another more confirmation that we're gonna go lower. So I'm risking like 11 points here. Stop loss at the high, entry at 540, and I'm holding all the way down for the next swing low. The next swing low is right here. This is the move, the low that caused this entire move up, which is at 490. Okay, I originally had my low, my TP down here at 483 because I wanted all these equal lows, and I didn't put it down here at 470 because there are more times than not that I've seen the market come very close to liquidity and not take it. For example, Asia. Look at all these highs up here. Look at these highs, not taken. Same here. There's a high right there. It didn't take it and it dumped. So I keep my TP relatively fair, I would say. And this ended up being a 50-point trade. I literally risked 11.5 points for 50 points. So this was almost a 5R trade. If I had risked 10, it would have been a 5R trade. And then that brought me back to $404 in profit. And then I watched it come down and sweep 470 and then sweep 455. And then after that, I was done. I know that price is going to start chopping after all the liquidity gets ran. And look what it does. We start ranging, right? So one of my new goals or new disciplines that I'm trying to implement, or like rules in 2026, is that once the draw on liquidity has been run, I need to get off, because otherwise I'm just gonna chop myself to hell. And would you look at that? Here was the low-hanging fruit, or the draw on liquidity I had at 527, and then we drop on down to the 4 hour. We have this 4 hour low and this 4 hour imbalance. So that was my very next target. I wanted this one first, and then I tried to I was looking for a continuation down into this. So those are my trades for today. Tomorrow, I honestly have no idea what we could expect. I'm gonna remove all this. We may see some chop into Asia, and we could see a reversal for all this liquidity higher. You can notice how we have all these stacked highs going all the way up. And if you go into the 4 hour, we've already swept this liquidity. So this would be a market maker sell model, and we distribute lower to get all this liquidity. So now we could potentially set up a market maker buy model for this 26,120 level, but I'm not sure if we're going to get it because tomorrow's Thursday and then we have Friday, so we have 2 days left. I'm not sure if we're going to get there. This may be something that's left for Monday. So yeah, that is it for the video. So yeah, I'm currently sitting at $51,201 on my funded account. I started 2 days ago, and today's the second day. Well, yeah, that makes sense. Started 2 days ago, so today's the second day. I've made $1,200 in 2 days, so that's a pretty good profit for the week. Tomorrow and Friday, I may just try to flip the days and just get my $100 days. Maybe trade like 5 micros, risk like $100 to make $200, and then next week I'll get back into trading regular size, and then see if we can get to a payout then. I would need 5 days. So if I'm green for the rest of the week and then I'm green on Monday, I'll be able to take a payout. Otherwise, try and take it slow. Not trying to rush anything. Don't need to take a payout right now, but it would be nice to. So yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow for day 9.